Hello to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. I am crone number one, Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. To my side, we have crone number two, Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista that can be found on Facebook. And supporting us, as always, down below there is Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. Hi, ladies. Hi, everyone out there. Thanks for watching.
Nice.
How was your week this week? Spring is springing.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's been nice weather here in New York.
Yeah, we got it. It's warmed up now today. Otherwise, it felt like winter.
Yeah, I saw pictures of snow where you were. Where was that?
Okay. So yeah, we went to Keukenhof, which is the Garden of Europe, it's called. And it's where it's this gorgeous garden of tulips. And they have it so it shifts. So there are 3 seasons of it, like in a matter of less than 8 weeks, like 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really was amazing, and it was freezing. Now, when we went, it didn't have snow, but like 3 days prior, my friends were there and it did have snow. So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Are beautiful. The pictures that you posted.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, and for those who didn't see it, you want to hear?
Yes.
3 Crones in the Woo Woo is a name for a tulip.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm loving it. I think it's so cool. I don't know. You said you don't know what tulip, what it looks like yet, but
I don't know.
Fingers crossed, everybody, that it's shades of blue and yellow.
Yes. Yeah. We don't know
color.
what's going to happen. I don't know. It's in the bank. It's in the data bank. And as they propagate different tulips, they go into the data bank, which has over 3,000 names, and there are like over 3,000 different types of tulips, just as an FYI. And they select the new names. And I didn't quite understand it until I went back and completely read what I reread it, and I was getting ready, and I'm walking by, and like spirit, I'll tell you, universe, I listened. It like came down and it went like this, smack, go back. And I went, wait a minute. And I go running back. Kevin's like halfway down. I go running back, and I'm like, I'm naming a tulip after 3 Crones in the Woo Woo. Kevin's looking at me like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I went back and I told him, and he goes, okay.
That is so very cool.
Yeah.
I want to make a small, very, very important announcement, and that is that we are broadcasting today directly to our 3 Crones in the Woo Woo YouTube channel. So if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to watch, but please go over to YouTube, find us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and you will know every time that one of us goes live in the group and on YouTube. All right?
Yes.
So
let me caveat the name. The name. It is 3 Crones in the Woo Woo on YouTube.
Yes.
That is, you have to put on YouTube, because there is another 3 Crones in the Woo Woo YouTube page. However, it doesn't have on YouTube. They both belong to us. You just won't see the live broadcast on the other page.
Yeah.
So,
For a minute, I thought that there was someone else with that name. I was like,
no, it's us. They belong to us. And I kept it, because at first I was going to discard the page, and I was like, no. So one of the things, just as an insider background thing, is when you have one of these ideas and you kind of can see the future of it, holding on to your name is a really important thing.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh God. To that point, I used to have Creative Command Coaching, creativecommand.com as a website name. Mm-hmm. And during the 2009 recession, I did not renew it. And now whoever has pirated it wants $8,000 to give it back to me.
Yeah.
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 No.
Wow.
And they can sit on it for $8,000 for as long as they want to. I don't care, because
Yep.
my name is now my website. You got to be careful like that. You know, if the name is available, grab it, hold on to it, stick it in the closet, whatever. You know.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Now what? We got a show to do.
We do have a show to do.
Oh, wait, we got one more thing to mention though, Miss Krista.
Oh, we do. So this week we had our 2 first Patreon subscribers, Sue Ward Paquin and Allison Baker. Thank you for going on and believing in us and becoming a Patreon subscriber. You too can become Patreon subscribers. That's where you're going to get insider information. So those of you who follow us in our Facebook group, awesome. We love you. It's great. But if you really want to get even more insider information, you're going to want to go to Patreon, because that's where Gayle's going to post when she's going to be showing up at fairs. That's where Damaris is going to be showing up or posting fairs that she'll be showing up at. And that's where you're going to find out where you can find me also in Europe, because there are people here also in Europe. So I am going to also be doing meetups in different locations. And one of the places for those who want to come, one of the suggestions from a Patreon, or well, I think a future Patreon, but a friend, is that I do a crystal shopping event where you get to come with me and go crystal shopping. So how you're going to find out about that is going to be through Patreon. It's not that you're always going to see us live here on Facebook and on our YouTube page. You're just going to get more insider information there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, one of the other things that we're going to be doing through the Patreon is an Ask Me Anything broadcast, where you actually get the link to come into StreamYard with us and chat and play and laugh and have a great time. And it's like a private broadcast. So Krista, thank you so much for doing all of the things that you've been doing to get all of these various pieces up and running behind the scenes. It takes a lot of dedication and time and effort, and we really appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I appreciate all of you. All 3 of us are doing our part. And yes, Damaris is writing like a fiend. Everybody, don't think she isn't. She is writing like a fiend. We just all have been. There are many moving parts, and there are only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that my day starts 6 hours earlier.
No. Not at all. All righty. Well, this is a very, very exciting week. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on, and I can't wait to hear it all from Damaris.
Awesome. You know, if I had a name for this week, for what I'm going to talk about, it would be atonement. So we have the opportunity to atone for whatever we have done in the past, and I'll talk about it. So we have Jupiter and we have Neptune in Pisces. And today it went in the exact same degrees. Jupiter is in 23 degrees Pisces, and Neptune is in 23 degrees Pisces as well. This alignment has not happened since 1856.
Wow.
So so every 14 years we have that alignment where Jupiter and Neptune meet in Pisces, but never the same exact,
No, every 14 years we have Jupiter and Neptune meet.
Yes.
But it hasn't been in Pisces.
It hasn't been in Pisces. And exactly at the same degrees, 23 degrees, at the same exact. So what does that mean exactly? So the theme for that alignment has to do with endings. It has to do with releasing. It has to do with surrender. It has to do with loss. So really what's going on is we're losing. This dimension is decaying, and we're going into a new dimension. And so we hold on to the things that are familiar to us, but yet they're dying. Those things are dying. That's why nothing is going to ever be the same. Since 2020, everything has shifted, everything has changed. I was actually listening to some podcast, which I don't know if it's true or not, but they were saying that it was we are following a different calendar than the Mayan calendar. And this actually happened in 2012, not 2020. So 2012 is really when, in the Mayan calendar, when the world shifted. And since we're following a different calendar, it happened. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that, yes, we did, or in 2012, there was a shift. So let me explain. So for those, it's the cog shifted in the Mayan calendar. Okay. So if you look at the Mayan calendar, it's a wheel.
Yes.
And for those who are not familiar, the wheel is a bunch of cogs. So think of it like a clock or an engine. Yeah. And how the wheels and the dials and the teeth, right? And it shifts. Well, it's the same with the Mayan calendar, and the energy shifted because it's like a common way for people to understand is, think of the Chinese New Year and the Chinese calendar and the animal. Well, they have something similar. It's just that instead of it being 1 year, it's a cycle.
Yes.
So that cycle shifted. And now, yes, it appears, I mean, we're thinking that, oh, wait, now in 2022, that's a shift. But is it really a shift, or is it that we're just feeling, we're seeing it more tangible now because the shift began?
Definitely. I feel like we're feeling it.
Yeah.
We're feeling it more than ever. But so that's what the theme is endings, is releasing, is surrendering. It's also feelings like of a loss. And we're definitely at a crossroad again in this alignment. On one side of the road, say, we have fear, we have anxiety, we have uncertainty. On the other side, we have transformation and a mass transcendental spiritual awakening like never before. And so that's what I'm saying. It's either, when I think of all of this, I also think of the death card in the tarot, which is also the 13, right? Which is a 4, if you really break it down, which is today's number as well. But the death is really symbolical, or it could be literal death, physical death, for some. But it's really where we will leave behind everything that doesn't serve us, everything that's not working anymore, everything that it's old, outdated or outmoded, right? And we're moving into the Aquarian age, where it's new technology, new downloads, even, spiritual downloads that we get, right? It's all new. It's new technologies that we're downloading, new information, new visions. It's so beautiful what's happening right now. But we also have a choice. We have a choice to choose whether we want to cling to the old or just going to the unknown and the new. As I was saying before, the number 4 today is a number 4. And the number 4 for me is really, like, and we've spoken about this before, it's about, foundation, is about childhood, it's about hard work. If there's a key word for 4, is endurance. We have endured a lot. We have, through the years, each of us has, right? And we're in a place where we can choose now to, I always say we're like God in the embryo, right? We're God's in the making, if you will. And so the word I am God equals a 13, which is a 4. And not I am God like better or above anybody else, but I am God within my own self and my own life. And so I just want to make that clear. I don't want people to think that, when we say I am God, it doesn't mean that I'm better than anyone. It just means that we are God in the embryo. We do have that Christ consciousness, and we can choose to be a beacon of light for others. And so the 4 is really also goes hand in hand with this alignment that we're speaking of, because of that crossroad. And also because of what we're leaving behind is a death. It is definitely a death, and it may feel, like a real death sometimes, and sometimes it is a real death. But we have this opportunity today, and then we have the moon, the full moon coming in on Saturday. We have Sunday, Easter Sunday, which is the 17th. If you also break down the 17 is 8 is ruled by Saturn. And so Saturn, gosh, it's again balancing the karma. We have an opportunity to literally balance our karma by doing the right thing, by being of service to others. We could eliminate lifetimes of karma. And it's an amazing alignment that we're having.
Nice
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just flabbergasted about everything that is happening this week. Not just, the Jupiter and the Neptune meeting in Pisces, which, just on a surface, I'm not nearly as an astute student of astrology or master of astrology as you are, Damaris. But when I think Jupiter, I think spirituality, I think God, I think Jove, I think, the all-encompassing, whatever you call it, source of the universe, right? And then you've got Neptune, which is the god of the hidden, right? Like the mystery, under the surface, mystical. Right? So you've got the sun and the moon type thing, right? And then we've got it being in Pisces, which has this, of course, being that watery sign, it's that emotional sign, gives that an emotion is the fuel to make things happen. So, it's just mind-boggling, the potential of right now, right? Absolutely. Yeah. Now is the time to make wires doing it. Now is the time to make those dreams actually manifest, and the action to do that, right? Yeah. Because everything that came up till now is done. It's over.
While you're saying that, it just brings to mind a quote from the Bible, John 1 verse 1, and it's really saying, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God. And so the Word is also for healing. When we use the Word with the right intention and the right motives, we actually bring healing to others. And so with that being said, again, doing the right thing and helping the world and the planet heal with just the word, whatever words we're using, the motives behind the word and the sound really creates the life force and the feeling to attract the healing. And so
it's also like, remember, where your attention goes is where your attention grows.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're saying one thing and you're thinking another thing, or you're feeling another thing, it's going to be your thought and your heart that drive that feeling more so than what you say. So you can have that intention of using kind words, for example, but in your head you're like, oh my God, they're a lunatic, or they're an idiot, or
the classic Southern, bless your heart.
The mind and the heart have to be aligned.
Yeah, and it is. You have to be in alignment with what you're saying.
Exactly. So you have to walk your talk too,
Yeah, don't think that if you're saying one thing, that universe is not paying attention, because universe pays attention all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And it loves to reciprocate and answer back.
Oh yeah.
And universe, in my opinion, has one heck of a sense of humor. 9 times out of 10, most people don't think it's funny, but it kind of is.
It is. And just before I give it over to you, Krista, I also want to add what you were saying, Gayle, before about the Neptune and Jupiter being so spiritual planets. They both are exalted in Cancer, and Cancer is really like the zodiac, the mother of the zodiac, right? It's really a powerful sign for them to be exalted in, and they're both exalted in Cancer, and at a fall in Capricorn, because Capricorn is more like the business person, right? It's not like the mother. right? Cancer is really like the mother of the zodiac, where there is also, the moon is ruled by Cancer. So being that we're having a full moon on Saturday, it's just so an amazing alignment. Everything is falling into place, like beautifully, perfectly. That's why I love the stars and the planets, because they give us, they give us insight on what is really going on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Back for a second to the word. We were talking about the word, right? In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was with God. Okay.
Yes.
I saw this article that really kind of blew my mind about a week ago or so. And that is, okay, so you know that the original name of God is Yahweh, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the original language that was written in, I believe it's Hebrew. They don't use vowels.
I believe it's Hebrew.
Yeah,
okay.
Hebrew.
Yeah, they don't use vowels. So there, I think it was like YHWH.
Yes.
Right. And they inserted vowels into that based on, okay, what do you think that sounds like as a word? Right. But think about it. And this is what the article said. When you breathe in, what's that sound? And when you breathe out, what's that sound? That is the name of God, the breath.
Yeah.
You breathe life into everything.
Exactly. And sound is also, like I said, healing. We're going to breathe life. Somebody's sick, you can breathe life into that being, into that, into that person with your words. It's amazing.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. All righty. One more set.
They're so beautiful.
They really are. And I'm making more.
Yeah.
So, okay. I have 4 more packs of the original left. I sold 2 more. Thank you, Sue Paquin, and thank you, Tracy Paquin. And I have 4 more packs of this original batch, and I am making more right now. I made one and I meant to send it to you so you could share with everybody, but it's okay. We'll do that next week. But I'm making one that kind of is a specialization of things that we each say. So I did mine as vibrate responsibly. Y'all can interpret that the way you want.
That is such a perfect double, triple, quadruple entendre.
Hey, so I need something that's very Gayle specific, and I need something that's very Damaris specific. Okay. And hey, if it has entendres, double meanings, or it's a little risque, all the better. But we just whatever. I'm just kind of trying to come up with some stuff and have fun doing it.
That is phenomenal.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So so guys, anything that we say that you think it would be sticker worthy, let me know. That you have no problem sharing with your friends. And I have no problem trying to create it.
You can do one that says underwear check.
I do. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
We haven't done an underwear check in a long time.
We haven't.
If you're watching, go ahead and put that in the comments. What color are your underwear today?
That's right. What color are your underwear?
I am black from the inside out today.
I'm black and red today.
Nice.
I'm like, I think I'm teal. Yes, I'm teal. Hey, remember, I put my underwear on hours ago.
That's true.
Cut me some slack. I went to medical and got my blood work done. By the way, everybody go get your blood work done.
Before we start your segment, I want to say absolutely thank you to everybody who has been sending Reiki and prayers and Symphony of Possibilities and, there's so many modalities that I have been gifted with. Biofeedback, all of that. my foot is, I was telling Damaris before the show, my foot is so much better. I could actually put weight on it long enough to put my other leg in my underwear today. So I got that going for me, you know.
There you go.
Hey. But thank you everybody who has contributed, and things are going really, really well. I can't wait for my podiatrist to review the MRI with me next week, because I believe that he is going to see miraculous improvement in that MRI. And, at the rate we're going, it could be 80% healed by the time he sees me next Monday. So here's the miracles.
Just keep using the word.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that's amazing. That's awesome news, Miss Gayle.
Yes.
Awesome. And
all right, Miss Krista. Oh, sorry.
Yes, we are having an awesome crystal, and I think it actually works, the Lemurian seed. All right, so how many, I'm going to ask a general question and put in the box, put in the comments, how many of you actually know or have heard of Lumerian seed crystals? Put yes or no in the comments, because I really want to know. Lumerian seeds are ancient crystals. We're gonna have a little bit of a history lesson. You know me, I love history. I love sharing history when I can as well. And Lumerian seeds come from a ancient civilization of Lemuria. And what is believed is that they were crystals, quartz crystals. Like I have one on right now, and I've been wearing it since the beginning of since the end of last year. And I wear it almost consistently. It's my crystal of the year. This with my Herkimer diamond. So I wear it and I'm working with it every possible chance. Well, every day, because I'm wearing it all the time, right? So Lumerian seed crystals are quartz points. And you may be like, well, I've seen a quartz point, right? We've all seen quartz points. But the difference is they have striations in them. A Lemurian seed has striations. And striations are when it looks like there are lines going across the crystal. And all those lines are records. That's information that has been stored by the Lemurians into that particular crystal. And the story goes that in the time of Lemuria, which is prior to Atlantis, so it's prior to the Atlantean time period, they foresaw that humans were going to need information and lessons that they had learned and during their time. So they put down this information and they stored it. Think of a Lemurian seed as being the Library of Congress. Right. And if you and when you sit and you meditate with one, it is said that you are downloaded information. Now, are you downloaded all the information that might be in that particular crystal? Possibly not. However, if you're downloaded what you need to know from that particular crystal. Now, does it mean it's a one and done meditation? No. Frequently, when you're meditating with crystals, it's over multiple times. It can be multiple weeks, multiple months, or if you wear it for long periods of time, it helps your energy to connect deeper with that crystal. So the more you're working with it, the more it's opening up. The more it's like, oh, I trust you. I'll tell you that secret that I'm holding inside.
So does it mean it's connected to the Akashic records?
So Akashic records are different because Akashic record is our record. Lumerian is to an actual collective.
Okay.
To an actual a community, a civilization that no longer to put it in terms of a civilization that we all can relate to, like when Naples or Pisa, no, not Pisa, because Pisa is north. But the Naples, when before Mount Vesuvius went off, and that was a seaport, right? And so that is its own culture and its own community that was covered by the ash. So each story, as the archaeologists are pulling out and uncovering through the digs that they've been doing over the last, 80 years now, I think it is, they're learning more and more and more. Well, a Lumerian crystal works differently because we have to become the archaeologists through meditation. Thank you, Sue. It's Pompeii. Yep. Yeah, she's helping me out. Had a brain. I was like a Herculean, or Herculaneum is the other one, but most people don't know Herculaneum. But Pompeii, everyone recognizes Pompeii. But yeah, so it's a really interesting thing. So we become the archaeologists in with each of our crystals that we sit and meditate with and you work with. And when you meditate with an actual Lemurian crystal, you really need a notebook. All right. And don't try to do long meditations with this crystal. Start off with short meditations. Start off with sitting with it. It's good if you can go out in nature, whether it's the ocean, whether it's trees, whatever part of nature. And I know Tracy's going, ooh, nature. Yeah, calling you out there, girl. But whatever
there's bugs out there.
That's it. That's her philosophy too. Me, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go roll around outside. Two totally much different. But yeah, when you're sitting out with nature, you actually can get a really, I think, a better connection with the crystals. Some crystals in particular. There are some that it's better if you're near water to sit and connect with, but this one, it's anywhere in nature. And connect with it through your breath. I'm going to go back and borrow what Gayle was saying, right? Our breath is the word. And I air quote it because it actually is the breath of life. That is what makes us. That's what we can't live without not breathing. You know, there are two things we need: breathing and water.
And water.
Right?
Yeah.
We need those.
We'll die quicker from a lack of either of those than we will for starving to death.
That's it. Very true. It's 3 minutes of no breathing. I was just having this conversation with Genevieve. 3 minutes, no breathing, 3 days, no water. Then you're dead. But you can do almost 3 weeks and a little longer, really, without eating and still sustain life.
Depending on how much you've got stored up, as much as 3 months. As long as you've got water.
That is another valid point. So, but the reason why a Lumerian is so important for right now, and I think for this week, is because it promotes peace. Peace be with you.
Yeah.
Right? The Catholics just had Palm Sunday. And so, which is all about promoting peace, which is all about granting each other peace. In that peace, we're seeing one another for who we are. You know, it's kind of like saying namaste. Yeah. You know, the light within me sees the light within you, the light in the teacher within you.
Or the God within you sees the God within me.
There you go. But it's and it's the same with peace. When you're blessing somebody with the word of peace, the power behind that is, or the intention behind that is that you are granting that person, you are giving them permission of letting go of the burdens that they carry so they can be at peace. Right? You're giving that person permission, and you're saying within this peace is forgiveness of yourself.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a death as well.
And that is, well,
When
and that's
you're-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because death is rebirth.
Yes.
You know, I don't know much about tarot. Okay, so I am the odd man out from the three of us because I don't play with tarot cards. I play with oracles.
Okay.
I have a plethora of oracles. Although I do have the good tarot deck, I think. By
But I'm also
Colin.
saying it because of Easter, the resurrection.
Yeah,
right?
and that is. But I
Right.
was having a conversation with somebody about tarot the other day, and they kept saying, "Oh, well, if I see death, does that mean I'm dying?" And it's like, you know what? I don't know a lot about tarot cards, but I know that does no. It means it's a rebirth. It's
Yeah.
the end of something and the beginning of something else.
Which
That's
is what's happening too with these, this alignment. It's
Yeah.
literally what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're transitioning. I mean, that's what all this up leveling is. And people are like, "Oh, we're going into this new dimension." The up leveling of our lives and the up leveling of our energy is just that. And it's creating that oneness so that we can, as a collective, and don't think Borg, all my Star Wars fans. I mean, Star Trek.
Get it right.
Star Trek.
I'm a purist.
Also, because also this alignment also brings revelations of the past, things that were hidden from us, and so that crystal works really well with that too.
And this is the time, so you'll start seeing Lemurian seed crystals started becoming really accessible. I always say Mama Earth gives us the gifts that we need when we need them, right?
Yeah. It gives us
and Lemurian
right?
seeds started really becoming accessible and popular, if you will, about 15 years ago. And slowly they become more and more and more accessible and more and more and more, where people are actually looking for them, to the point where you have to be cautious and know that you're buying from somebody who's reputable.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, just because it's a skinny point doesn't mean that it's a Lumerian seed crystal. It may not be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a couple
of a few in my collection, and they are distinct among quartz crystal. Once you see a real Lemurian seed crystal, it's much harder to be fooled after that, because there are the striations. There are literally on some of them little seed points that they're not druzy, right? It's a totally different manifestation of the points that are on these things. And they can be pretty pricey. I was looking yesterday, and because I was like, I wonder what mine are worth, because I've got one piece that is just, I'll explain it to you in a second, but the ones that I was looking at, $850.
Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
How
$850.
How big are they?
Oh yeah, totally.
Maybe 2 inches.
No.
Yeah. Do you have pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how it's kind of conical. And you've got the striations here. I'm going to actually run that again. Upper left of your screen, you can actually see the lines on the crystal. Those are records. Far right, you can see the lines. Those are the records that have been implanted in those crystals.
Oh wow! No, I don't have a big one.
It's huge.
Yes.
Really? Oh my!
Yeah, I don't have a big one. That's on my
list. I'll get it while you guys talk, so I can show it to them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Excellent. I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
that's on my list to get a bigger one of. I have this one, and then I have one that broke, sadly. But yeah, it is amazing when you start working with these particular crystals, the Lemurian seeds, and actually, so here's a really cool thing. Create your moon water. Oh my gosh, that one's amazing. I can see the striations from here.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. The one that I've got is probably only about let's see, give you a good. Yeah, about that long, maybe 3 inches, right? But it's smoky quartz.
Oh, definitely.
It's got a cleaved striation about halfway up, and then the other end is like it's a point, but it's not a point like you would see a normal quartz crystal.
Yeah.
It all equally comes up. It's like got like 7 or 8 sides, and it comes to an actual like a pyramid point. And
that's amazing.
What that particular crystal would be used for is to be given information on what cords need to be cut and transmute the energy naturally through the smoky quartz. I mean, it is a powerful tool for those who know how to use it. And almost, all Lemurian crystals are, but the shape of that one makes it very powerful for a very specific purpose.
Oh yeah. So if you're needing in a Lumerian crystal, a Lumerian seed crystal is not something, again, for your novice. Okay. I'm just going to put it out there unless you're with somebody who can help you use it. And by the way, if anyone has one and they have questions, please reach out to me. I will happily talk you through it, because when you start working with one of those, it can feel like you're being barraged with information, whether it's current information in your life, whether it's like I'm trying to think of it's like a cinematic. For me, when I work with them, it can be very cinematic, except it's cinematic flashes of things that I need to know, things I need to see, things that I need to understand. And I realized that the first time that happened, I was kind of like taken back by it. But because I had worked with the other stones that I've been working with, and I had kind of I had someone already giving me information about it. It did not throw me off nearly as much as it could have done. Yeah. Now, for those of you who are working with one and you're like, Krista, I'm getting nothing. You are just feeding me full of bullshit. Okay. All right. Got it. Guess what? It doesn't want to talk right now. Don't take it personally. You just may not be ready to hear what it needs to say to you. And there are times I have very shy crystals. I have some that I have to spend months just saying, hi, how are you? And yes, I do say, hi, how are you? Please do not call the paddy wagon. I am very sad. You just have to approach it in a gingerly fashion. You can't do the whole bull in the china shop aspect, which, my personality has a tendency to do. But yeah,
you're a bully.
I just like to be there with everybody. So yeah, work with it. Know that it connects with the plant of an oak. So it's grounding. So even though it is a Lumerian quartz crystal, meaning it's an amplifier, it is a grounding one. So the fact that it connects with an oak, think oak stands tall. They're really old trees. They don't die young.
Yeah.
They don't. And another really cool thing is it corresponds with Mama Earth. Really and truly, that is one of the earth connectors. And here's the thing that I sense there are going to be people in here that will really connect with. Its animal is a turtle.
Oh,
and what
nice.
is turtle? Think about a turtle. A turtle lives
Mother Earth.
How long?
Yeah, like hundreds of years, 400 years.
Hundreds of years. Yeah. And turtles also mean change and flow, and they bring people peace, and they have a tendency, yes, they'll swim by themselves, but then they all come together and congregate, right? For those of you who've watched Finding Nemo, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, Dude, yeah. Really and truly, though, it's a fun crystal to have in your collection, but not one necessarily if you're still trying to if you're still trying to work through the kinks.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that, work through the kinks. I wouldn't hand it to somebody who definitely is bipolar and manic depressant.
Yeah,
you know that.
Oh,
who isn't like, wait, I am.
That would be kind of irresponsible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be kind of irresponsible. But I'd hand it to somebody who's like, you know what? I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to really learn more about who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it seems like now would be a really good time to take a look at what those ancient records that have been implanted in those crystals have to say, because of the fact, like, you know, Jupiter and Neptune have not met in Pisces for the last 180 some years. So you know, when we can look back and see, well, what was happening back then and what was happening 186 years before that, what was happening, you know, before that, it can give us a little bit of insight into what is going on now.
We will have revelations, though.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
We're going to get downloads of information as we're opening up more and more.
Yeah, but we have to be open to receive that information. So it's great to talk about. I mean, and the three of us, we understand, right? And we know that, yes, you have to be willing, you have to be open to receiving information and not thinking, oh, well, you know, I need to shut that information off, or I'm hearing voices, maybe I should stop paying attention.
And there are those out there that are, for lack of a better term, anti-psychic, in that, you know, like my mom used to play guessing games with us.
Yeah.
And you could tell which of us 5 kids were the most sensitive and intuitive and psychic based on how many times we hit correct, you know, and this back in the days of the ESP tests and all that. My brother was wrong almost like 100% of the time. And statistically, that's impossible. That is someone who has chosen consciously or otherwise to not receive information that way. Yeah. Interestingly enough, he grew up to become a fundamentalist Baptist.
Well, you know.
So he was he was willing to receive information through one particular channel and no others.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying with that.
Yeah, no, I get
wrong or broken. Just like,
you
know, there was really specific channels that he would allow access to him.
Yeah.
You know. All right, so let's talk about tarot cards.
Yes,
because my brother ain't.
Shall we invite your brother in?
Oh, no, he wouldn't come. 10 of Swords. All right. Oh God, I screwed that one up. I'll fix that next week, I promise. So from Galaxy Tarot, right? This is today's card, and it's very interesting because we were talking about earlier that it's over. The past is done. It's gone. It's you know, there's no dragging it through. It's over with. And today's message is it's time to admit that something's over.
Let go, right? Surrender.
Yeah, exactly. It's time to let it go. Stop thinking about it. Stop talking about it. Remember, what are we giving word to? What are we giving the power of our vibrational breath to? What are we breathing life into, right? Stop talking about it. There's no need to get in the last word, right? And side trip here. This has always helped me, right? Because I had to practice with some people in my family not getting the last word. I mean, I was definitely the last word Linda, right? And it just escalates things with the wrong combination of people. So in practicing like not having the last word, I would think to myself, you only got the last word because I let you have it.
But you still have the
If that's what it takes, if the superiority is what it takes to get to the peace, that's fine too. All right.
Yep.
So let it go and move on. If you don't, you'll only be dragging out your own suffering. Right.
Yes.
All right. So something new is awaiting you. Create the space to let it in. And that's exactly, looking at that tarot card, you wouldn't think that that aligns with today, but the message truly does. You know, this rock bottom is done. The trap doors are done. Now is time to create the space for what it is that we choose to have. Take on that energy of Jupiter and Neptune and really dream the big dreams and believe that the possibilities are real, right? All of those fantasies of Neptune, all of those daydreams, all of those things that live under the surface. Now is the time to let the light of Jupiter, if you will, the morning star that the wise men followed to find the frickin' baby Jesus, Jupiter, the light of the morning, onto all of those things that have been under the surface and hidden, and take the actions necessary to make them happen. Because right now, it's so easy to believe in yourself. It really is. And it's so easy to go out on a limb and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, right? And make it happen. Awesome stuff. All righty. All righty. Let's see. Now we're going to talk a little bit this week. And this is where the Lemurian seed crystal comes in quite a bit, because we're going to be accessing the wisdom of the soul and the wisdom of the ancients. All right. Now, a lot of what we have been told about the world, right, in history, in the recorded history that's been handed down to us, if you will, we always have to take that with a grain of salt, because history is written by the victors and they're not going to make themselves look bad. They're just not.
Oh, of course. No.
Right.
And the poems and songs are written by the losers, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They say that history is whatever story sticks. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one. But
we've seen lately that those stories shift, right? Those stories shift. I mean, we're all of the same age here. We grew up learning, in school about the Civil War, about the civil rights and all of that. And there is so much Black history that has been whitewashed out of it, right? Literally. Yeah.
Literally.
I mean, how many things that we use, how many technological advances do we benefit from every day that were invented by Black people that, nobody knows where that ever came from? Bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So it actually behooves us to go in and start listening to things like the Lemurian crystals, the ancient wisdom that has been recorded in the very bones of the earth, if you would, right? Apophyllite, huge information from the spirit realm, from the earth. You can't fake those records. Quartz that has been programmed, from a long time ago. Diamonds that have been programmed, which incidentally, beware of the hand-me-down. Oh, this is my grandmother's wedding ring, right? What kind of marriage did she have?
Yep.
Because if it wasn't good, if she stayed married because she had to for 60 years and all the time being beaten and belittled, you want to have that diamond cleared really well.
You don't want to have it. May I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to say Hope Diamond.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
Right?
It's holding all that energy of whatever happened in that marriage.
And it's not the only diamond that has a curse around it. There are actually several other diamonds that have curses as well. So Yeah, hand-me-down jewelry is only good if or stones is only if the receiver or the giver it comes from a genuine space and place.
Yes.
You know, I've had somebody, they were like, give me a crystal once or a stone, and they were in a genuine state and place, or it was very genuine. It came from the heart, this particular stone. Sadly, it was not meant for me. And it was very clear because the stone told me. But unless you are in tune with stones, you won't know that. So just follow your intuition on that.
Yeah. So stones are a really good place to start with that. A lot of I have a piece of apophyllite that's sitting like 3 feet from me right now. And if I didn't have to hobble over to get it, I'd grab it and show you. But we were doing a crystal lunch, and this was absolutely amazing. When we do the crystal lunch, we have this wonderful luncheon at a beautiful place, and I put my crystals out on the table. And this one lady picked up the piece of apophyllite, and she was listening to it, and she said, it's telling me about when the world was created and the separation from the land and the water, and it's singing to me, right? And she put it back down, and we move on. And then a few minutes later, like 10 minutes later, this other woman came in that happened to be a psychic. Okay. And she's staring at this piece of apophyllite. And finally she picks it up, and she's like, it's singing to me about when the world was created and when the water separated from the land.
Wow. So she said the same thing the other lady did.
Yeah, but kind of in the reverse. It wasn't the exact same words in the exact same order, but was the exact same message. Whoa. Right?
Yeah.
So Lemurian seed crystals, apophyllite, quartz, diamonds, any of those hard rocks have messages for us that we can trust, that go way, way back in the beginning of the world and along those lines. Now, also, with what's going on this week with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, take a look back. I was reading an article. I can't remember who wrote it, or I would give them credit for it because it was very interesting. They said, take a look at what was happening 186 years ago. 186 years ago, exactly, there was something that was going on between the senators in Washington, D.C., right? And it was just before the Civil War started. And somebody said something, and then this other senator beat another senator with a cane in the Senate, in the chamber. And that is known as the unofficial, like the symbolic start of the Civil War. Okay. So you may not see this huge Mount Vesuvian explosion, eruption, change like that today or this week even. But something that's happening right now is what is going to literally change life as we know it. What are we looking at on the stage right now, the Earth stage, if you will? We're looking at space travel. There's like 5 civilians, the first all civilian flight going up right now. There is the war in the Ukraine, and all of that's happening over there. There is so many things that are sending us as a civilization off into the new technologies, the new way of living, and all of that. Now, I don't know, because I think more in lines of physics when I think of the dimensions, right? Like people are saying we're going off into a new dimension. No, we're not going to phase out, right? But yes, this is a level up. This is a higher vibration than we've ever been at before. It's a finer vibration than we've ever been.
We've never had
before.
It.
Exactly. And an entirely new level of what's possible. All right. So by all means, go into meditation this week. Take your stones along with you. Ask them, what you need to know to be able to manifest your own highest individual self for the good of humanity. And then listen.
Yeah.
And then go do it. Because it's
Yes.
not enough to just
Nope.
listen in on what's supposed to happen. We
should give it life, give it your breath, your word.
Yeah. Put life into it. And hey, and just remember, you may be nervous about doing that. I mean, I know I can't speak for you guys, but I know that when I started this path of becoming more open about it with everybody, yeah, I was nervous. But, I kept remembering something that Mother Teresa said. And Mother Teresa would say, at first, they're going to laugh at you. Actually, it wasn't, she repeated it. It was somebody else who said it first. And she repeated it. But
do it anyway? Was it that? Was it that poem? Do it anyway?
No.
No, it's not a poem. At first, they're going to laugh at you. Then they're going to then they're going to ignore you. And then they're going to follow you.
Mm-hmm. I think it was paraphrased from who said it before her.
And I can't remember who it was that said it before, but I had heard her say it. Mm-hmm. And she's somebody who I've always admired. But it is very true, because at first people kind of looked at me like, oh gosh, you're crazy. And I'm like, but I embraced it. Rather than fearing it, I said, you know what? I'm going to embrace the fact that you think I'm crazy, because that means I know that I'm going to be heard.
Yeah.
I'm saying something that is kind of like, it's like sandpaper, a
little abrasive,
a little bit irritating, but it's not harmful. And then in the end, I know you're going to hear what I'm saying, or else you're just going to walk away, and that's fine, because you're not ready to hear it then.
Right. All right. Well, I want to invite everybody who's out there to, along those lines of breathing life into things. Please tell everyone you know about Three Crones and the Woo Woo on YouTube, and help us share our, and expand our following there. And then also, please come join us on Patreon, because we got some cool behind the scenes stuff. Thank you again to our first two Patreon supporters, Sue Ward Paquin and Allison Baker. And you can follow us on patreon.com/Three Crones and the Woo Woo. Now, before we close out, and we're really behind, thanks very much for your patience with this. We want to say congratulations to this week's Woo Woo giveaway winner, Leslie Del Valera, or Di Valera. Thank you so much for being part of Three Crones in the Woo Woo. Thanks for accepting Damaris's invitation to join the group. And for, if you don't know how this works, all you got to do is pick one of us and reach out to us to allow us to schedule a time to deliver your prize. And your prize is a reading from one of the Three Crones. In my case, it will be a tarot reading or a EFT tapping session. In Krista's case, it will be a crystal reading, or in Damaris's case, it will be a numerology or tarot reading. So all you got to do is reach out to one of us. We'll get you on the schedule, and 30 minutes of our time is free of charge to you. Awesome. Yep. Awesome. And very from all of us at Three Crones and the Woo Woo, thank you so much for tuning in today and listening to us and supporting us. We love you so very, very, very much. And we will talk to you again real soon. Bye. Gotcha, Krista.